It is a remarkable thing to wake up in the morning and find that a high Tibetan Lama has chosen to incarnate here. He is the first Kiwi Rinpoche, the first incarnation of a Tibetan High Lama to be officially recognised in New Zealand, or indeed in the Southern Hemisphere.
His name is Pongre Sungrap Tulku Rinpoche, Rinpoche for short, meaning precious one. He was, up until now, a Kiwi kid. But suddenly this 6-year-old child is revered and bowed down to as an enlightened being, a Kiwi Buddha. Buddhists say that this child in former lives was a great master, and that in this life he will again be of worldwide importance as a spiritual leader. Kilometres north of Auckland is the Karma Choling Buddhist monastery. This has been Rinpoche's home up until now. Built over 20 years ago, it's an enclave for Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike, to study, to take retreat, or to simply visit out of curiosity. On the day celebrating the official recognition of Pongre Rinpoche, New Zealanders flock to the monastery to see just who and what this so-called enlightened child is.
Well, according to the Tibetan tradition of Buddhism, there's two kinds of reincarnation. The first one is like ordinary beings. You know, it's sort of uncontrolled landing kind of a thing. But incarnation means that an enlightened being has chosen to take birth for the benefit of other people. And so Rinpoche is one of those. Rinpoche's previous incarnation, he was a really important Lama from the east of Tibet. He was a regent of an enormous monastic complex, and he's not the Dalai Lama, but to use a very crude analogy, he's right up near the top of the Christmas tree. So it's kind of a top job.
Rinpoche's immediate future is now mapped out for him. In just a few months, he'll leave New Zealand and his family to live in a monastery in India. His life is about to change dramatically. Rinpoche was born in Auckland to Tibetan parents, giving him claim to both cultures.
I think I'm Tibetan.
A little bit Kiwi?
Yeah, a little bit. Actually, I'm both. I born here, and my dad and my mom born at Tibet.
Rinpoche means precious. Rin means priceless. Che means great. Rinpoche.
One of two resident lamas, or teachers, at the monastery is Rinpoche's father, Lama Shedrup. Rinpoche is his third child.
Every child is very special for parents, you know. But as we said about Rinpoche, is when even baby time, is very gentle and really not disturbing to family, very easy to carry, you know.
Not proud, but more rejoicing or more honored.
Mayam Sonam, also a Tibetan immigrant, is Rinpoche's mother.
When it's time to discipline, then you have to, you know, discipline him. And you can't say, you know, let him do it because he's Rinpoche or something. Can't say that, you know, have to straight away have to sort of stop him, you know. But then, on the other hand, it's because he is a special sort of person, so I have to, in some ways, I have to respect him, I think.
Although he was brought up in the monastery, Rinpoche's life has been relatively ordinary. It's only now that his relationship with his brother and sister has had to change.
Usually he just acts like my little brother, but I respect him as a High Lama. Sometimes if I wanted to go to the beach with him and I wanted him to come, he wouldn't be allowed for sometimes, because sometimes like he wouldn't have a special mattress for sitting on that.
He's like special?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you treat him high because he's a tuku and Rinpoche.
He always sits, like in his car, he always sits in the special like front seat and a special.
Yeah, but you can't really put a Rinpoche in the back seat.
Yeah.
It's not very nice. Keeps people who go, oh, that's right, your brother the Dalai Lama. You can't really explain it. You have to like tell them what Buddhism means and all that.
They don't really understand.
But since his recognition, it's the man Rinpoche calls uncle, Lama Samten, who now oversees much of his care.
The High Lamas, once he recognized, has to be a special room for him. So, and then I'm the only one available for him. Also, my privilege to be locked up to him.
Unlike Rinpoche's father, when Lama Samten took his vows as a monk, he chose to lead a celibate life, so he does not have children of his own.
The interesting is that, I mean, he's my nephew, but more than that, something is different, and that's why I respect him very much, yes.
Well, let's go.
I have actually 5 sisters, 4 brothers, so actually I look up to the young one by one, and I got experience of the look up to the children. He called it me nickname, so Akama called it. He loves me, I love him, so that's very much, yeah.
Rinpoche was officially recognized as an incarnation after his 6th birthday. But it was long before that that family and friends say they sensed that he was more than just a bright child, that the signs were there almost from conception.
Eco-friendly adventurers.
Even before Rinpoche came into this world, there were suggestions that this child was extraordinary. The first person to sense this was Rinpoche's mother, Sonam.
It's not that I decided that he's a special sort of baby, but just had lots of significant sort of dreams, you know, and that's constant sort of dream, nearly whole through pregnancy. So that's quite unusual, you know.
Prior to Rinpoche's recognition, I think everybody around the place had quite a strong feeling that he was not just an ordinary kid. It's kind of difficult to put your finger on, really, and mostly it's about his confidence and his perceptiveness. You know, I didn't see any miracles. I didn't see him walking on water or making handprints on rocks or any of those kind of things, you know. But I can remember every time I would walk past the hut that they were staying in, I'd check around to see if anyone was looking, and I'd kind of, yeah, I would find myself turning towards them and kind of bowing my head a bit. I didn't have a clue why. It was just a feeling, you know.
The most convincing sign was that Rinpoche, at a very young age, seemed to recognize people he had never met, specifically Tibetan High Lamas.
The one really special one, he was, must be 1 year old. I got lots of pictures all rolled together, and he wanted to everyone. I just give that one. He said, no, that one, no, that one, no, that one, that one. And then the one particular one he really wanted. So then he wanted to open up. When I open up, he opened up. When he looked at, he just burst tears. And that was called Jamgong Kongtrul.
It was just prior to this time that Jamgong Kongtrul, a High Lama from Tibet, was killed in a car accident.
He just really cried deeply, not just only, just really deeply. So that time I thought, must be something connected with Jamgong Kongtrul, must be someone. This is really unusual.
After 6 years of dreams and so-called auspicious signs, it was time for Rinpoche's family to see whether or not this child was indeed an incarnation, and if so, just who he might be. Only a few people in the world could tell them. One of them was the 12th Thai Situpa, one of the highest lamas in Rinpoche's lineage. In August 1999, Rinpoche and his mother travelled to northern India, and there met with His Eminence the 12th Thai Situpa. He ascertained that the 6-year-old boy before him was indeed the incarnation of a High Lama from the east of Tibet, Pong Re Rinpoche. The recognition was then confirmed by His Holiness the Karmapa, head of Rinpoche's lineage, and subsequently by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The process of recognition is difficult to define, even for His Eminence Thai Situpa.
It's not so much you just meet somebody and say, oh, you are somebody's incarnation. Not like that. How to find a reincarnated master need spiritual insight. I have to exercise all of the teachings that I have received from my masters, and as well as all of the practices that I have done, and also all the other indications. One of them was a dream, and I dreamed one old Rinpoche, old Lama actually, he was born somewhere and he died again, quite young, and then he was born again very far away. And in the dream I got the description that it will take for an eagle to fly 9 days and 9 nights to get there. So that indicates very far away. Maybe from Tibet, eagle might fly over New Zealand, you know.
What should I make now? Red cotton.
Okay, we can just leave the bus outside.
Yeah.
When Rinpoche returned to New Zealand from India, he did so as a monk. He would now only ever wear Buddhist robes.
Why? You make both of them. I'll just make something else like garage and stuff.
Okay.
You make the house.
And he would now not be returning to his friends and classmates at the local Wainui primary school.
See a mountain. They collect honey.
They collect it. They do collect nectar. Look how big and fat it is. He was just an average little boy. He was, could be quite mischievous, just like any other 6-year-old.
He's flying.
He's flying up and away. He had one really good little friend, and they used to play in the sandpit. That was their favourite place.
No, that's not it. Yes, it is. D-R-I-V.
I thought it was a shame because, you know, especially at the beginning of the year when we're just getting him going, he was writing really well and he was starting to really take off with his reading and things like that. So I sort of thought, well, it is a shame. And socially, he's got, you know, all his friends are still at school and he doesn't have the opportunity to talk to them anymore.
I've got the same dictionary as Sam.
And he's going to get a completely different sort of education. So I don't think that in the long run he's actually going to lose out.
I think it's really amazingly quick, really quick. Very fast. His learning, even his memorized, is amazing. Doesn't take too long at all.
Rinpoche is learning Tibetan in preparation for his education at the monastery in India. He leaves in just a few months.
Which one easy for you? Tibetan or English?
Tibetan. Yeah, Tibetan easier for me. It's like same like this, same like this. I have to draw all the way to here. Yeah. Actually, it's like ABC.
We've got to be careful, otherwise the traffic officers will stop us.
Before Rinpoche leaves for India, the Lamas have decided he has to see his own country first, on a 3-week nationwide tour, taking Rinpoche to New Zealand.
Somehow, it's a very tradition of Tibet, actually. When our Lamas traveling, we never have undecorated vehicle or horse. It's kind of... Yes. This all your company, travel companies.
Gonzilla.
Gonzilla, okay, sure. You can have your friend, Gonzilla.
Mama sometimes said when it's like a round road, he said go slowly. When it's just a straight road, just go fast. Mama sometimes said it, I didn't say it.
Lama Shiru? From Tibet.
Hold down.
My friend, how are you?
Hello. How are you, Shishwan?
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, everybody smile.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so hot here.
Kakura is one of my place in New Zealand. It's a mountain. It's reminded me really Tibet. It's become really homesick. But Tibet don't have the big ocean. We have big lakes, big rivers, but we don't have the ocean. But the combination of mountain and the ocean, beautiful. Even the sound, wow, priceless.
ZB, you're listening to Saturday. It's nearly 20 past 10 here this morning. Good morning, it's lovely to have you with us.
The Lamas travel like wandering gypsies, setting up their stage, bringing Rinpoche to small-town New Zealand. Many who come are simply curious, others inexplicably drawn to this by now 7-year-old child wonder.
Very self-confident in a very pleasant way, quiet and strong, and yeah, a very interesting child. And on the other hand, like perfectly normal little boy.
I'm really quite convinced of his authenticity.
You have lots of fun playing with the other children.
Thank you,
I found the notice about Tuka Rinpoche, and I felt I had a bit of a meditation, felt very drawn to coming here.
I've been really moved actually by the responses of people coming to these events to meet Rinpoche in tears, you know, moved with the emotion of being blessed by him.
I'm happy to greet him, you know. I mean, you know, why not? Because we're such a materialistic society, we're actually in need of spiritual nourishment, you know. I mean, that's one way of looking at it.
It was said that there was a gift for New Zealand, and when I heard that, I just felt so happy.
Glacier, lots of glaciers. Really amazing.
What is also important to the Buddhists is for Rinpoche to connect with those beings we cannot see, those who reside in the mountains and the clouds, and the various elements of nature. The Lamas refer to them as local deities. Despite the weather, the Lamas insist on stopping by the shores of Lake Tekapo in the South Island's high country to perform a puja, a prayer ceremony paying respect to the local deities. The weather forecast is predicting snow.
Sometimes in the West they call Tibetan Lamas controls weathers, but actually not controls weathers. Actually they negotiate with the local deities. They actually can control the weathers.
I think this is a very good sign. We believe this means that the local deity is really very welcome. To me, it looks like the cloud is kind of long white scarf coming through Mount Cook, as we can see all through. So it's very auspicious.
It's a long journey, particularly for Sonam, who's expecting another baby in just a few months. It's said that Rinpoche's birth in New Zealand was not by chance, that it was up to him where he decided to be reborn. But why New Zealand? Why, of all countries in the world, did he choose to land here? Turangawaiwai Marae, home to the Maori Queen. Buddhists believe that as an enlightened being, it was Rinpoche's decision to be born in New Zealand.
Doesn't mean by accident he came here. He chose. He had already control. He had power at that stage. He can see the benefit. New Zealand is a peaceful country and very important people, very genuine and very kind of open-hearted.
Their final destination is as important spiritually to the Tibetans as it is to Maori.
This lighthouse walking or no walking?
Yeah.
At Cape Reinga, the waters of the west collide and run together with the currents from the east. Before Rinpoche leaves New Zealand, there is one last puja to perform for both Maori and Tibetan deities.
Oh, that's very Thank you, Rinpoche. He found a very good path for me.
It's here in Spirits Bay in the far north that some people say the two cultures once converged.
Who's tall? Taller than me, anybody?
This maunga is associated with one of our main common ancestors of all the northern tribes. Tohe. His name was Tohe, and he lived here. And this area is where some of the canoes landed. There's a hapu, there's a sub-tribe. Their name is Te Waiariki. They say that the canoe that they came on was made out of feathers, and it came from Tibet. So basically what they're saying is they flew here from Tibet.
You're looking a bit worried, aren't you? Hmm?
Rinpoche has a new baby brother, Karma Tenzing Yeshe.
Yeah, I think you might be pretty clean.
This was also the hospital where Rinpoche was born.
Oh, yeah. A big sigh.
For Rinpoche, being born in New Zealand means far greater freedom than if he were born in his family's homeland, Tibet.
Do you know that no government in the world recognizes Tibet as an occupied nation? They all say Tibet is part of China. For me, it is a somber occasion. We should remember those who have died as a direct result, and this way, at least, they are in our minds and thoughts.
Lama Shedrup and Lama Samten will certainly never forget. They saw almost every member of their immediate families, all their brothers and sisters, killed or die as a result of the Chinese invasion.
Chinese got Tibet because the China say because they want more space. Then they killed some Tibetan people. That's why. They need more space. You can see him in the book.
In a few days, Rinpoche will be leaving for India. He has to choose what toys he'll take.
This one. This one. Dilophosaurus. If he wins, he will eat him. If he eat him, he'll win. He'll eat all the meat. If it's Tyrannosaurus fighting with him, the Tyrannosaurus will win. He'll hold from here and eat the stomach. Don't look at the pages. I've got a panda too.
Rinpoche will study at the monastery until he's 20 years old. It's difficult for a 7-year-old to understand what this really means.
I'll be staying all at the monastery. 20 at the monastery.
20?
Yeah, 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah, the monastery.
That's a very long time.
Yeah.
Are you going to miss us?
Then I'll come at some holidays.
Back to New Zealand?
Yeah, at 20 days. Then I'll come back here and stay some little while here. Then I have to go back and stay 20 years there again.
Before he leaves, his friends from the local Wainui school have come to say goodbye.
We wish you good luck.
How much times have you watched Pokemon? None. Because in Pokemon you catch more than one Pokemon. I got meal. And in Digimon you only catch one. Yeah. Which is the one toy? It's a Charizard. And my 5 cards is a Persian, a Weedle. How many toys have you got? I had a Moltres and toy and I swapped it for a Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur and toy. I got a Cubone, a remote control. Do you like it? Sitting up, yeah? Yeah.
Right, so you all off to Sydney?
Rinpoche's family and a few friends are travelling with him to India. But unlike him, they won't be staying long.
Would you like to sit by the window?
He seems to be very happy about the whole thing. His parents are both very happy about it, so I think that's a good start. And that's certainly not the case in a lot of people who might send their children away to boarding school. You know, he's into it. He's ready to go.
I just say we have to leave here and you have to go to a monastery, in India. So then he says, that's all right, I can come back, sort of thing,
I'm going to miss him heaps. It's going to be quiet, eh?
He thinks that I'm going to come to him. I'm coming with him, he thinks. Yeah. Probably miss him a lot.
If we didn't take it back to monastery, I think then it would be a big mistake. He must be properly trained and studied to benefit others.
Take care. Bye, Sana.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Rinpoche.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Rinpoche.
See you soon.
It's a 16-hour journey to the monastery. From New Delhi, they travel by road and rail north to the foothills of the Himalayas. In a few days' time, Rinpoche will be officially enthroned, and his new life in India will begin. Monastery, northern India. A Tibetan world a few hundred miles across the Himalayas from Tibet. Here over 350 young monks live and study. Today their lessons are disrupted. They're awaiting the arrival of the first High Lama from the Southern Hemisphere. Rinpoche is not like the rest of the young monks at the monastery. As a High Lama, he is afforded the status and respect of a future spiritual leader. But the first person Rinpoche must greet is a man who is higher yet again, His Eminence the 12th Tai Situpa, head of Sherabling Monastery, and the man who first recognized Rinpoche as an incarnation.
How was the trip? Okay? Not too tired? Okay.
Tai Situpa was recognized as a High Lama at just 18 months old. He has since recognized several other young incarnations.
He's very important to be found, because if one reincarnate master is not found, then that piece is missing. And all of the follower of that particular Rinpoche's previous incarnation have no master, no guide. So to find a Rinpoche is extremely important.
Many of the young monks at Sherabling have crossed the mountains on foot, sent by their parents from Tibet. Here they receive a traditional Tibetan Buddhist education. From 6 in the morning until late at night they practice philosophy, astrology, medicine, art and mathematics. Rinpoche will not live among the other monks. His apartment is on the 3rd floor. He'll live here with an assistant and a full-time tutor. Lama Shedrup and Lama Samten have ensured that he has all the creature comforts of home.
So this is where you're staying?
Yeah. That's where I sleep. Quite warm. Quite warm.
And what's all the pictures on the wall?
They're just Buddha. What am I going to do here? I'm going to study here, then I'm going to meditate here, then I'm going to go to some puja very early, and some at the night. Then I can play some Game Boy.
The monks are preparing for Rinpoche's enthronement. The throne room floors must be polished. Rinpoche will wear gold, real gold.
This fabric is for the Rinpoche hat, the gumbo hat.
The morning of the enthronement, auspiciously the day of the full moon.
Big, huge day, definitely, very special day. And we have a few kiwis here, really, really good.
These special shoes for holiness. Get out of those. Excuse me. That's for the special Lama. Only special Lama allowed to wear it.
Today is very special. Today.
What?
Most important. That is Maori Queen. Sajik doesn't keep us that passion. Rich. American rich. Lama.
Hundreds of Tibetans from surrounding villages and from over 30 monasteries and nunneries across India and Nepal have come to witness the enthronement, including representatives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Karmapa, and the Tibetan government in exile. After 2,500 years, the traditions are still strong. Each offering and prayer a gesture of respect and acknowledgement. Each blessing wishing Rinpoche a long and prosperous life in his role as teacher and leader. From now on, Rinpoche is invested with all the authority of his previous incarnations. He'll now be known as the Venerable Katung Pongre Tulku Rinpoche. From now until he is 20 years of age, Rinpoche will be in the care of the monastery.
For me, this feels like the end of the beginning. The beginning that Taisidu has said was so important. We've done that. And now it's the monastery's job to train him, and then after that's finished, then he's free.
Rinpoche, yes, we have spent with him many, many years, and I look after him as my child. So once Rinpoche throned, then my job would be completed. So people say, oh, sad. I said, yes. But I think very important is that physical is impermanent, but the important is the memory. It's very important. This is your treasure.
And then you have to understand, one day we have to leave everything anyway, you know. But in my situation, I think it's looking more widely, you know. Once he finishes study, he'll be able to help many other people, you know, rather than only myself. Happy, I think, quite happy, I think.
Sure, I will miss him. It's very hard because he's very special son, Rinpoche. But then sometimes I have great joy. Therefore, that's the most important. Definitely his future will be great.